Hi, everybody, and welcome. Sorry about the wrong post. I'm getting mixed up with all the with all the live shows and the this and the that. Awesome to see you. So honored to have you here. Got a great lineup today. Not too many pictures, but some nice, interesting case studies, and also I'm going to talk a lot more about what we spoke about last night regarding nutrition, but also stress, pain, and low oxygen levels, because I'm seeing a lot of that. And then very specifically having a look at the difference between symptoms and root causes of disease, because all too quickly do we run to sort out the symptom. And we seldom really stop and say to ourselves, but hold on, what's the meaning behind the pain? What's the meaning behind the stress? What message should I be getting? Am I really in tune with myself? Is this a little wake-up call? Is there a bell ringing? And I think, especially looking at the people who've joined in, we really are advanced enough right now to stop and ask ourselves those questions. So I'd be very interested to see. I've put in the chat there. Write down areas of pain or concern in the body. We're going to have a little look at how the body speaks the mind, and then write down how you ease the pain or remove the stress, or what you do to maybe even get to the root cause, but also to ease the tension, the muscle tension that starts. Okay, so I've got everything ready this side, and I'm going to be watching your chats, and now's your time as well. Many people text me quite a lot in the week, and I've been saying to people also, come in on the live, because everybody wants to hear the questions and everybody can benefit from the answers. And then we're killing many birds with one stone. So also, any other questions, please jot them down as well. And so nice to see people from around the world. It's just great. Okay, and I just want to tell you all as well is that the international deliveries have improved 100-fold since the last year. I mean, I'm getting deliveries to the UK within 2 days, to Mauritius literally in less than 24 hours right now. So I'm really excited about that, because that's just good news for all of us. Okay, so why am I talking about, obviously, nutrition on one hand, but why am I speaking a lot about stress levels, oxygen levels, and levels of pain in the body? Mainly because that's what I'm seeing. People are literally walking in with those words on their forehead. And I'm sure you can relate to, and me too. And I'm finding the situation far worse than last year. People are more desperate, definitely in South Africa. The pain is higher, the blood pressures are higher, the blood sugars are higher when people come in. Their starting point is much higher. The lymph is more blocked. The stomachs are more blocked. The skin is showing massive eruptions, massive release, massive detox. It's almost like the floodgates have opened regarding that. So I'm going to share a bit about that with you. And also, a lot of people I'm finding have got a pain, let's say in the back, but they're so used to it. They're so used to cervical or lumbar pain that it becomes like a second nature to them. They don't actually perceive it. They wake up stiff, and then they stretch or whatever, and it may dull a little bit, but they're not actually focusing on why it's there. And a lot of the time I'm seeing calcification, and that goes with pain and stress and low oxygen, low amount of breathing, and acidity and inflammation in the body. So I can add acidity and inflammation to the words that people are coming in with, because these are just the beginnings. Inflammation is definitely an early warning system. Pain is early, sometimes a late warning system. Stress, we all know if we're stressed or not. The blood pressures, I'll speak to you about that as well. I've seen blood pressures this week that I've never seen before, so high. So one of the hidden things that I'm seeing is calcification. And not many people do assessments for this. And often we wake up when it's too late and we literally, the joints is calcified. Sometimes the gout is set in at the same time. The kidney's been spewing out uric acid for I don't know how long. So with our devices, we see quite a lot of this calcification buildup in the spine. Calcification is also on the vessels, where the vessel will start getting caked and the elasticity goes away, and also in the lungs, the liver and the gallstones. I'm seeing a lot of blocked gallbladders. I think I spoke about this last time as well. And then it will be liver, kidneys, prostate, and the hypothalamus as well. And that leads to another section, which is basically, hormone levels being down. But these are all symptoms. So a symptom, calcification again is a symptom. It's a symptom of the body being highly acidic, not enough oxygen, too stressed, adrenaline and cortisol pumping around all day long, hitting on the cells all day long, because it's not a stress that comes and goes. It's not a fight or flight stress. It's stress that lingers. It stays there. And then with the acidity, the calcium doesn't go back into the bone. It stays and floats around the blood and then collects where there's a low flow. A low flow like the spine, the joints, liver, kidneys, prostate, brain, vessels. Okay, so this is what we've got to look at. And then it's too late. And then, of course, it's the surgeon's knife and all the rest of it. Shoulder, frozen shoulder. Most often it's also calcification buildup. Painful, of course, because it's not moving like a ball and socket anymore. It's stuck a bit and it's wearing on the other end and wearing on the other end. Okay, so we can bring that down very, very quickly. People will phone me with excruciating kidney stone pain, and it might be a Monday and the op is booked for a Friday. What are they going to do? Honestly, within a day or two of taking Chancapiedra, the kidney pain has gone, because what it does is it softens it. It's known as stone crusher, but it actually softens the calcium. And I've got loads of case studies on this. In fact, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I showed you that picture of that the foot with the bunion, with all the white calcification coming out, and that literally we closed the whole bunion, all the calcification spewed out. And I showed you also those pictures of those big yellow cholesterol nuggets, looked like plastic nuggets. The patient told me they even bounce. Anyway, those yellow globular nuggets of cholesterol that came out with the Chancapiedra as well. So it definitely softens the whole lot, and it all comes out, and including the kidney stones come out. I did tell you that. So now I'm just shifting this to the spine, which is our support. And also to please note that the hypothalamus can get calcified. Plaque forms in the hypothalamus, especially from heated carbohydrates. Heated carbohydrate will form plaque in the brain, and you get little organisms that live in the plaque. They're in like a type of a little shell, very difficult to get rid of. They'll come out and they'll hide very quickly. So we've got to get the calcium out so that the organisms go out at the same time. So just wanted those with backache, lumbar and spine, cervical, right up to occiput even, and hypothalamus. Vessel elasticity, that's a great one. We've also got that lovely vessel flush, the decalcifying, we call it our descaler. So people with a fluctuating blood pressure, or very high or very low, doesn't matter. We come and bring life back into the vessel. We get the vessels moving and pumping beautifully, and then the blood pressure normalizes. So a stiff vessel, low or high blood pressure, we also get it out with the vessel flush. Okay, and then obviously cleaning blood and all the rest of it that goes with it. So I wanted to share that with you because I'm seeing a lot of that. And to get those little organisms out, you're going to need a para-immune boost. You're going to need that herbal preparation that I designed to get right in there. All right, so that I think is taking care of that one, which I'm seeing a lot of stiffness. So together with the stiffness, people, even me, I'll wake up in the morning and I'm stiff and I haven't breathed properly. Now the big breathing time is like sort of 4 to 5 in the morning. That is when the lungs are at their most active, by the way. So we've been speaking a lot about getting up at 4 in the morning. When the earth wakes up, when the earth takes its first breath, is for us to wake up then as well and take our first breath then too. That's when the lungs are most active. And that's when we can breathe in deeply and breathe out all that acidic carbon dioxide. Do you know, it's nearly every single person. They have acidosis in the brain, apart from the plaque and the buildup and the organisms that are floating around and the aluminium and the lead and everything in there. They have acidosis in the brain. They have blood carbon dioxide, even carbon monoxide levels. So if you go to hospital, the first thing they do is check your blood saturation levels, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide, and they reverse it. They get the oxygen right. They root the carbon dioxide out. So this is how people are walking around like right now with acidosis. It's going to cause stiffness, even together with the calcification. So when you walk on the ground and you breathe out, you will find the stiffness goes. And when we're also sitting hunched up, blocking lymphatic flow, not breathing. I had a case this morning, absolutely typical as well. This girl studying all night, she's sitting all day in the office, and she's got basically brain acidosis. Way too much carbon dioxide. So that's just an acidic environment, and that's where we're going to let all those anaerobic organisms grow in the body. All right, and replicate and become toxic in the body and all the rest of it. Start eating us away, which means we're going to have to do brain repair, neurological repair. Okay, so we really don't want that situation. So I'm going to talk, I've got some slides on the breathing. So I'm seeing a lot of that, all right? So lots of pain, lots of stress, lots of numbness, lots of aches. That's where we can bring in some beautiful yoga and stretching, things like that. You can do it yourself. There's all those programs. And even the parasite growth and the parasite toxins that are produced will also cause pain, inflammation, and stiffness. So a lady today has a farm, and she was bitten by she doesn't know if it was a flea or a spider. It wasn't a tick. And interesting, the pain started at the bottom of her heel. Now, we've spoken about this before, where the heavy metals and the heavy toxins and all the rest of it will gather around the lower part of the calf and into the ankles and, well, the heel. They sink down. So this one sunk there, and then it started. I asked her to raise her legs to give the liver a chance to re-detoxify it, which she didn't do. But anyway, this poison rise up. It's in the tendon to the knee, and she's extremely worried about it. Anyway, put her on the quantum device, the Q450, and we saw a lot of circulating immune complexes, that means lots of parasites in the blood. It also means lots of undigested protein fibers. It also means, we saw as well, lots of cholesterol in the blood, so very slow blood. In fact, her stroke volume was so low, it was in the red. I was actually worried about her. And so what she was doing, not breathing enough, complete acidosis, acidity, uric acid in the kidneys as well, blocked lymphatic system from the cholesterol at the same time. And now her body's trying to deal with this parasite as well. So, and not dealing with it. And this was then also causing memory and not clear thinking, not good sleeping. Together with the whole profile, as I say. So we have almost a barrel, and all the toxins get thrown into this barrel. And when the barrel gets full, we will have a skin eruption, we will have an asthma attack, we will have an EEG irregularity, we will have heart palpitations. So where the body tries to, or diarrhea, to try and get rid of, empty this barrel of toxins very quickly, because the acidity level, if we don't have a pH of 7.4, we will die. Okay, so we have to, so the body will do whatever it can, pull out all the calcium, magnesium, potassium from the bones to keep itself at 7.4. And the amount of people that come in with a pH of 7.4, I would say is out of 10, maybe one. Out of 20, maybe one. All right, so we're not really observing nature. Okay, and all I'm saying is these symptoms are getting higher and higher and higher, and we're breathing less, and we're getting more stressed, and we're having more pain and more stiffness, more toxicity buildup, and the children are coming in with it too. So so this lady with the low stroke volume, of course, that's very, very urgent. I mean, that's acute. So we need to thin her blood very quickly, get the fat out, get the protein out with enzymes, and get the parasites out, para-immune boost, and some oxygen treatment as well. And I'll hear tomorrow and the next day how this insect-induced parasite, you see, they carry the parasites with them, inside them. And as they bite you, it goes into you. So we've got to be very careful and catch it quickly. We've got to denature that protein. The protein. We don't want that protein spike. So that was a very interesting one too. And then we saw a very extreme, highly high blood pressure, 161 over 122. Now, any of you who's in the medical space, even if you're not, blood pressure should be around about 120 over 80. If you're a bit older, maybe 125 over 83, maybe, or 130 over 83. That's also acceptable. 161 over 122. Again, this blood pressure coming back to the heart, the diastolic too slow and the systolic too high. Now, this is a stroke material. So there was a homeopath working with me. I called her in to come show, and she also nearly fell off her chair. Anyway, this happened to be a CEO of about 4 companies, and actually he wasn't sleeping. He didn't know where to look. He didn't know what to do. So we fixed him quickly. We gave him some things right in the pharmacy as well as to take home. And the first comment back from him was, I slept like a baby. So you see, oxygen takes away anxiety. It's the best anti-anxiety, antidepressive substance on the planet. It's the best sleep substance on the planet. It's beautiful. You have one of those sleeps like when you're at the coast and the waves are crashing outside and you just in that beautiful warm humidity and you just sleep. That's what oxygen does, because that's what you're getting on the coast anywhere on. So that was the first, and then we brought the blood pressure right down to, it's about 140 over 105 now. And that's not even Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's 4 days. So I'm really, really happy about that. So that's a good one, very good one. And then another little boy came along. This was interesting as well, because his brother is slim and he's a little bit podgy, lots of inflammation, really cute little guy. I think internal turmoil because of the toxicity that he's carrying, not his fault. So we saw fungus, a very high level of fungus. We also saw radiation toxicity. We saw very low oxygenation. We saw sore bone, inflamed bone, autoimmune already set in, second grade of school, oxidation problems, parasites, and amoeba. This little guy was continuously hungry. If you're continuously hungry, how do you concentrate at school? It's not really possible. And he was constantly hungry and craving food because these organisms were growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and demanding food and eating all his food, eating the serotonin, the happy hormone, eating the GABA, the dopamine. So there was also, he could have been far more sprightly, doing more, but with low dopamine, you don't actually get too many things done, actually. And so all these beautiful neurotransmitters were getting eaten up. Lots of fermentation in the gut, leaky gut. So these little organisms then bore through the intestinal lining into the bloodstream, along with all the undigested food through that hole now, that then gets circulated around the whole body through the brain. And, well, we actually saw there, I called the mom, it says they're like black depression. Now, this is a little guy, second year of school. These organisms carry a consciousness with them. So do lead and mercury and arsenic and all the other heavy metals. Any toxin will carry a consciousness or carry an emotion. So we have to separate the symptom again from the root cause, from reality. So you can imagine what's going on in this little guy's mind. By the same token, he hasn't had a play date through the whole of lockdown. The children haven't had play dates. He hasn't been socializing, hasn't been with his friends, stuck at home. So can you see the whole dilemma? It's nourishment on every level that's missing. Plus an acidic body with autoimmunity, inflammation, and these black moods that are coming and going, and this constant frenetic craving for food. So on top of it, okay, he's been getting probably lots of heated oil because the gallbladder was blocked. The bile wasn't coming out to digest the oil. So the blood's getting thicker and thicker, oxygen getting less and less. The brain capacity was 56 out of 100 for a little boy, second year in school, 7 years old. Brain capacity, 56 out of 100. And the voltage, the charge of his battery was 50% as well. So when you're young, you can kind of overcome it, but not properly. And low oxygen levels. So on top of that, low immunity and the bone marrow struggling. So this was a kind of a shutdown right now where the organisms are demanding the food. He's not in control of his own body either. The toxins are accumulating, proteins, oils, parasites, and, well, it's going to manifest and play out in concentration because he could be doing much better at school. So I'm very excited to see the outcome of this once we strip the body of these toxins, all right? And the causes now of mood swings and brain capacity and all the rest of it, and bring some stability back. It's going to be amazing. And I mean, we see people that come in that have been battling with a liver hepatitis for 8 years, walking aimlessly around the health pharmacy, trying to find something to buy that's going to fix them. And little bottles here, little bottles there, 8 little bottles. So I called the lady and we did the quick analysis on her, and we found the parasites, and we found the acidity in the body. We found the low brain amplitude, the low body charge, etc., 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 all the toxins, the root causes of the disease. And I'm already seeing results with her. Now, with her, and you will get it, when these funguses leave and these bacteria and GMO viruses and things, yeasts, you can actually have quite a black mood as well. You can feel quite down. It's almost like a caffeine detox almost. So when these organisms leave, they're not happy to leave. And sometimes you will get that feeling in the brain as well, which she's just gone through. And she says to me, she's hoping for happier days. But I know it's a day or two and she's going to be very happy. So what are they saying to me? Jane, the guesswork has been removed. thank you for doing the assessment. I'm now purchasing stuff that I know I need and that's been recommended by a quantum device. And they just know, their gut feeling is telling them that they're on the right track. And at least they don't have to carry on spending with guesswork involved. The arbitrary product here and there. They literally, I watched them walk up and down the aisles just searching. Another lady, she's had fibromyalgia so badly and for so long, she almost can't talk, she almost can't function. So in fact, her husband has to tell her what the dosages are and things. So fibromyalgia, again, it's literally acidosis, parasites, toxicity, complete buildup in that barrel. And all of these are symptoms of the toxicity. And you can line your table with zinc and selenium and I don't know, whatever you want to. But if you don't hit those toxins and get them out, it's window dressing. And you'll feel a bit better, but not properly better. Dip in your immune system, you'll get sick. So we've got to look after the stress aspects of ourselves. And I'll show you some slides about that in a moment. Now, there's another lady in Mauritius with cerebral malaria. She's had it for a long time too. From mosquitoes. For those of you from Africa, know that a lot of people die of cerebral malaria. So this exotoxin parks in the brain. So some malarias protozoas will park off in different parts of the body. This one goes to the brain. Cerebral malaria. It's a type of an encephalitis. I've seen about 3 of these recently. In case this lady specifically, exhausted by the end of the day, trying everything, frantic. Jane, do something. Sky high blood pressure. It's actually dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. So, we've got her on the oxygen. We've got her on getting the blood thin, because these little protozoa will live in the blood. They'll make the blood thick at the same time. Very bad. We see it on the live microscope. So, people don't really know what's wrong until you do an assessment. And that's really my point. You don't really know that you're in a hypoxic state until you do an assessment. You don't know that you have carbon dioxide acidosis until you do an assessment. You think you're fine, but you're not. That bit of stiffness. Just breathe. Breathe it out. So we've got I got Anna here telling us that the body stiff, brain fog. So she's taking longer and more frequent walks outside. And I know Anna's going to be, barefoot. Best if it's raining as well, if it's wet. Or wet on the seashore, on the sand. Taking the Chanca Piedra. Yeah, so let's move the... thank you for that. Let's move the calcification out the way, get the spine working properly again, or the bones and the joints working properly again. Let's assist the body. Let's get the pH down to 7.4, Anna. So we make sure we're having lots of green food, salads, but breathing makes us alkaline. I'm chopping and changing a little bit now, but it's relevant to everyone. Breathing makes us alkaline. Why? Because we breathe out the carbon dioxide. So it's the number one key critical thing, the blood pH. From there, we get inflammation. From there, we start getting degeneration. So blood pH is the critical one. Let's see what this lady's saying. Oh, that's just another patient giving some feedback. I'll get to them in a moment. And what I'm seeing also, just to throw this in, is weight loss that goes together with the detox, because of course, so any toxin is held in place with water molecules and an inflammatory reaction from the body, right? The toxin will cause inflammation, it will cause the immune system to go there, it will cause stress in the body. So the minute we remove the toxin, the cause, the symptoms go away and the weight falls off. So anyone embarking on a weight loss, don't wait, don't diet, detox. That's what I tell my people. Don't diet, detox. Don't make weight loss your end goal. Make the detox your end goal. Make health your end goal. Ultimate health. Maximize your health. Get those things in straight, in order. And then the weight will fall off. And those people that take everything and do what I'm saying will find that that middle band of fat, the dangerous one, starts breaking down as well. And you feel like doing more exercise, and all the jigsaw pieces of the jigsaw puzzle fit together automatically on its own. You think clearly, you live productively. Okay, getting up early when the earth wakes up, taking those beautiful breaths with your lungs when the lungs are most active. We need to just get into sync. If we get more in sync with the earth, then we will be more healthy. And yeah, I'm having lots and lots of success with our gallbladder flush. The gallbladder flush is doing wonders for people. It's literally bringing the life back, because the liver, L-I-V-E, we need to live. So if we've detoxed the liver and the gallbladder, we bring the life back, the life force back almost, we could say. So that gallbladder flush is, and I recommend it actually for everybody, because we've all got a bit of buildup. We can have even up to 2,000 little soft stones in our liver at any one time. And when you do that flush, you see them, hundreds of them, in the toilet bowl. All the cholesterol and triglycerides floating on the top. It's a bit gross, I know, but people tell me, people take photographs, they're very proud that they got rid of their stones, and the way they're feeling. I actually took pictures last week of a couple that were 2 weeks later, chalk and cheese. And my other lady as well. Okay, so as we detox, the immune system can pick up. It can be boosted, because we're clearing all the channels. We're clearing the liver, the gallbladder, the blood vessels, the brain, the hypothalamus, pineal pituitary. It's not because the hormones aren't there. They're not signaled. The signal doesn't reach the hypothalamus to let go of the thyroid hormones, the pancreatic enzymes and hormones, digestion hormones, enzymes, hormones and enzymes for the bones, the adrenals, etc., etc., etc. So we've got to make sure that those channels are right. And if you unblock all of this, the chi, the prana comes back together with the oxygenation coming in and out. We must breathe through our nose. When you breathe through the nose, you get nitrous oxide forming, better assimilation of the oxygen. Right? Oxygen has a charge of 1.3 volts. Ozone, a charge of 2.5 volts. Too strong for the body cells. All the cells get knackered. The cell vitality oxyminerals have a charge of 0.95 volts. Lower than normal oxygen. Less destructive. Remember, oxygen is highly corrosive scavenger of free radical electrons in the body. We have to have it. And that's why when we go for our oxygen methodologies and things, we know what we're doing. And then, as I said, all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle come together beautifully. We don't rush and treat the symptoms. Okay? We get back to nature. We get back to simplicity and bringing everything in alignment. And then we check, are there enough proteins? Are there enough long-chain sugars, minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients? And then work with the body on that level. It's too beautiful. It's too amazing. I mean, the number of people that will walk in and out of the center this week alone. And it's too beautiful to see the metamorphosis, to see the change. I've seen the pictures of depressed, downward-looking people that suddenly walk in that are over 70 and show me how they run up and down my stairs. Show me that they can do it again like a little spring chicken. It's beautiful. That kind of consciousness The more we can raise other people's consciousness, the more our consciousness is raised. That's what gives us hope as humans. So we can talk more on the immune system a little bit later. Let me just see if I covered everything on my slides last night as well. And remember, this can be more of a just a reminder. And this is what I've been talking about a lot. How you're feeling and the underlying cause can be completely different. And let's not run and go do the old paradigm and start treating symptoms. Right? You come in with your thyroid, that's fine. We will fix it by going a couple of steps backwards. I'm not saying if the stroke volume is so low that we leave it. Those kind of things, we have to take the workload off the heart immediately. But we also can do that naturally, as I've just told you. So this slide we did look at for those of you who have joined again today, but it's no problem to look at it again. We've got to surround ourselves with color, first of all. It boosts the eyes, but this is nutrition. And look at all of these. It's not even an exhaustive list, but our food is our medicine is our food. What did Hippocrates really mean? He meant oxygen, he meant sunlight, he meant cosmic microwave radiation, God consciousness. He meant water, electrons from the earth, food from the earth, sound, plant photosynthesis, encapsulated sunlight, animal, insects. Our ancestors ate insects. They ate crickets. They ate worms. Just saying. Your relationships are food. Your vocation, your job. Not a job. It's not an occupation. It's a vocation. Right? Marrying the two, your purpose and what you do. Creativity, so important. Stimulation of the brain. People who are living in isolation, it's too terrible what this lockdown has done. And obviously proper sleep so that we can nourish the nervous system. So these again, just, areas of nutrition. These are the areas we find that are lacking. And something like a stress defense shield that I have brings all of this in. And then also it has herbs and superfoods that activate oxygen in the body as well. A green juice, a green smoothie will bring in oxygen. Flaxseed oil. When you blend the flaxseed oil with the no-fat cottage cheese, that Budwick recipe, releases enormous amounts of oxygen into the body. Noted, you can feel it. You have a brain on for the next 4 hours when you mix flaxseed oil with cold pressed, with no-fat cottage cheese. Cold pressed flaxseed oil with no-fat cottage cheese. You blend that on its own, it becomes yellow. You eat 3 tablespoons of that 3 times a day. You can't believe it's chalk and cheese. You're a different person. You're calm. You can concentrate. You're not getting up looking for minerals and food all the time. Never before have we had so much food and been so starved. We must find the foods that have these, that are easy to digest. So stress is the big killer because we're having stress knocking at the cell door 24/7. The cortisol, it's hitting at the cell, it's weakening the cells, it's calling the immune system to come and weakening everything all the time. We have to get a handle on stress. We have to work out what we need to surrender, what's serving us and what's not serving us. And nothing's a mistake. If something crosses your path, a person who crosses your path, it's all deliberate. It's all there for you to say, hang on. As Professor Dubonnet says, an obstacle is an illusion of the mind. We need to sidestep it, go over it, go around it, and raise our vibration. We can't give into it and get stuck and trapped in it. We have to use it as a cue. We can turn around and thank people for their mistakes, for teaching us, for giving us the opportunity to raise our vibration. We can also choose wisely, all right, and choose the company that we're in and make those wise choices, of course. But every now and then, there'll be one that comes along that's going to teach us. Thank people for their mistakes, for our learning. if that makes sense to you. Right, so we've got to really work on not letting these rule us, because this is as bad as a parasite. It's an energy form in us that is going to reduce our immunity, our oxygen levels, and all of these. Stress will lead to shallow breathing, not breathing out. It will create tension, muscle tension. The muscles will pull on the bone, stiffness. And we get all of this disease cascade. This is very important here. These are all symptoms. Toxicity, parasites, allopathic medicine. We must bring the life force back into us. And here's our beautiful oxygen molecule. It's got a number 8 on the periodic table. 8, if you turn it sideways, infinity sign. Infinite, it's beautiful. So we have all sorts of ways of getting oxygen in, obviously breathing, and I'm really recommending, myself included, to do every hour 10 or 20 huge breaths in and huge breaths out. We've got our normal cell oxygen capsule, which is magnesium for relaxation, very important, and oxygen. Hydrogen peroxide, I don't use a lot of that, but it can be used. Oxygen activators, enzymes, B vitamins, superfoods, bee pollen, royal jelly will activate oxygen. Herbs, the supercell oxygen with Siberian ginseng, cordyceps, the bee pollen, other things like turmeric, MSM, there's MSM. These will all bring in oxygen into the body, so that's useful to note. Our cell vitality oxyminerals come in, they change the cell membrane, the charge around the cell membrane, and that's our molecule down there. So various ways to bring in oxygen. Sometimes we do bring it in extra because we want to detox quickly, and I think you'd have to spend all day breathing very deeply and very out to maintain that alkaline space, but we can speed up the process and get rid of those very deep-seated horrible organisms and parasites and toxins and stuff. But not even our own fault. We breathe them in many instances. So this is what starts happening with pain, and we talked about it before, because you've got your physical body, you've got your emotional body, you've got your soul body, and you've got your spiritual body, the 4 bodies. Now, the soul is speaking through the etheric body into the physical all the time. That is how the soul is communicating. Now, if the emotional body is blocked, too much baggage, too much emotions, the soul cannot speak directly to this, can't get to the physical through the normal way. So it comes directly through the physical, and that's also when we get pain. But it's the soul speaking to us, so it's a message. All right, I learned that's anthroposophical medicine, what I've just spoken about now, the 4 bodies. The soul normally comes through a clean etheric body into the physical body. No pain when it's speaking to us. If the etheric body, the second body, is too blocked with emotions, it can't do that. So it bypasses and comes directly into the physical, causes pain. So there's always a message, a memory, an emotion, a neurological aspect to the pain. That pain will cause inflammation and stiffness and more stress, more emotional problems. So we have to respect this pain and understand ask what it's saying to us. Some pain is physical, I know that, but some people can lift up the same box, get a bit of a sore back, and in some people the backache goes. In other people the backache stays. Why? What were they thinking at that very moment? What were they thinking when they were carrying the boxes up and down the steps? And I used that as an example before. What are you thinking at the time? And did you let it go? Or did it continue to cause the tension? Did it start becoming resident in your body, your mind, or your emotions? Constant rationalization, constant worry, constant anxiety. We have to catch ourselves. We have to breathe. When we breathe, we alkalinize ourselves and we can't access those lower astral, the lower soul frequencies. When we clean, when we alkaline, the soul can speak to the physical very easily. We've got to clear all of these. It's time now. We need to surrender. We really do. And look at our vocation and our purpose. And, understand the tension and stress will cause that muscle to spasm. And then the nerve spasms as well. And the ligaments, the connection of the ligaments to the bone. Connects the brain to the muscles at the same time. All right, and then of course if there's no oxygen, everything, it's a nice painful situation. What you resist persists. So this is the example. What were you thinking? When you were lifting the heavy boxes? Were there layers of resentment underneath? No one's helping you. You always do things by yourself. What's beneath that? Emotional loneliness, longing for attention, fear of the future. Perhaps your inner child trying to prove how capable you really are to parents who are not paying attention. We don't know. Could be us. Easy to blame the accident for the pain. But are you facing your inner pain? No. Linked. Finding the inner pain will go a long way in releasing the physical. And this key word here is resistance. Let's let go of the resistance. Let's meditate on it. Let's find the answers. Only we can find them. No one's going to give them to you. You can use the quantum, Skio, or Eductor, or QUX to find them. You absolutely can. Because your subconscious tells us exactly what they are. Then we can process it with the frequencies, and by speaking it, we can process it out and we can surrender to it and we can measure before and after, of course. But let's accept it, let's own it, let's take on the responsibility and then ask ourselves, is it serving us? So we're asking ourselves, is it coming with us? Or are we going to be able to let it go and leave it behind and not bother about it? Have we learned the message? Okay. Does it deserve a rightful place, or can we let go? Once we do that, the cells open up, the DNA opens up, the muscle spasm starts releasing. We start getting, again, improvement. Okay, because pain is a symptom. It's a symptom of something. And I just got a few more. That's so nice. Oh, so now I just got some products quickly. We did go through them yesterday, but just so you know, again, these formulations that I put together are literally will bring in protein building blocks, long chain building blocks, minerals, vitamins, phytonutrients, exactly in the right molecular structure with life force. All right, with the life force, the spirulinas, the moringas, the baobabs, astragalus, ashwagandhas, reishi, chaga, blue-green algae, spirulinas. We're bringing in life force. If you bring in life force, you bring in alkalinity. You raise your vibration. You're bringing in neg entropy. We're bringing in life force, which is what we need to feed on. You're bringing in consciousness. More than that, I can't say. Sorry. I've been telling everyone this for a really, really long time now. And I consume this every single day of my life. With the raw cacao, which is just beautiful for the gut. Magnesium. So here's one of the brain fuels. And, you can have a look and see these beautiful, beautiful products that are inside. Oxygen activators, lymphatic, infections, aromatase inhibitors, phytonutrients, adaptogenic herbs for stress, hormone balancing, immune system, cholesterol, oxygen, vitamin D, the ergosterols in the medicinal mushrooms. They contain ergosterol, which is a plant cholesterol. When you stand outside in the sun, the ultraviolet light interacts with that ergosterol and produces vitamin D inside your body. What could be easier? Just get hold of the medicinal mushroom mix or one of these stress defense shields and you've got it. The Ormus gold, it's got gazillions of high capacity, very high spin electrons. The high spin of everything. I told you before about Ormus gold. So everyone wants the white gold powder. You can powder the liquid. And then what you do is you got the powder on a spoon. Put a Bunsen burner under the spoon. When the Ormus gold powder heats up, it disappears off the spoon. Don't even really think I've lost it. You can try it yourself. When you take the Bunsen burner away, the flame away, and the spoon cools down, the Ormus gold comes back. Take it or leave it. Very, very, very high vibrational product. When you start consuming something like this, imagine your neg entropy. It is huge. Subtle. Calmness. Cleansing. Gold is the biggest detoxifying element and the biggest nourishing element of all the elements. But we talking about gold in an M state, a three-dimensional space, not like the two-dimensional periodic table. Oh, let me just go back there. I just want to make sure I covered these things with you. Stress adaptogen mix, there's 5 adaptogens in there. Nervous system, hormonal system. Put a stop to road rage. Easy sleeping. That's the magnesium dioxide. That's the cell supercell oxygen activator. The Siberian ginseng, the cordyceps, turmerics, bee pollens, and there's our special RNA, DNA peptides. We should really be living on them because they are the right mRNA proteins for us. Okay, then I think there's 1 or 2 slides left. Like I said to you, let's get the liver, let's get the blood, let's get the hypothalamus detoxed. Right, and then it can reach receive the signal from the body and release thyroid hormone, release cholecystokinin, release the hormones for the adrenal gland, release the pancreatic enzymes, reset the blood sugar, etc., etc. So that's why I put those products in there. There's our flaxseed oil, the highest life force, the highest neg entropy of all the oils. Makes sense. If you've got a choice, buy the flaxseed oil, buy the cold pressed one. This is the one I spoke about mixing with the no-fat cottage cheese, the Budwick mixture, and some brain fuel. Everyone, we all want that. Mucuna bean, it's another adaptogenic herb, beautiful for stress. It's also beautiful for post-radiation. It rebuilds the nerve endings, libido, breastfeeding, relaxation. It's gorgeous. It grows intertwined with the cacao plant in the forest. So it's the stimulant and the anti-stimulant. It's sweet, and it's a bean, purple velvet bean. And you can open the capsules and taste it. For Alzheimer's and Parkinsonism, unbelievable. Right, so then there's that. And there's our chlorine dioxide, Cell Vitality Oxymineral Drops. And it was about the university diploma. So, yeah, I hope, in this hour, it's almost an hour on the dot, I've managed to raise awareness, give you some really, really good, sound, valid knowledge, and we've raised our consciousness. It's through you, I raise my consciousness, you raise your consciousness through me, other people, that's what we do. So collectively, we just do need to choose. We need to be very, very discerning with our time. I wanted to say at the beginning, I was chatting to one of my long-standing clients actually, and he said to me, Jane, I've actually really come to enjoy my own company throughout all of this. He said, I really do enjoy. I'm not saying we should be loners, please don't get me wrong, but that aloneness is where we do find our answers, and we can be creative, and we can expand into infinite infinity that we never knew about before because we were so busy on the treadmill. So we can choose our timing, and we can, allocate our day beautifully and get to higher levels of consciousness. I think this is what we're really aiming for. And I'm seeing the people in the group, those that I see, thanks for coming in. And the more we raise our consciousness, the more the consciousness of the planet shifts, because it's not only us, it's other people that are working on this with its work as well. So we're feeding off each other's neg entropy as well, because we're activating each other's DNA at the same time. So let's just see, are there any other things people do or want to share or want to ask me questions about dosages or what to take or what's their next step? Or even just comment about, the methodologies that we're using. Anything you want to share? Any disease areas you want me to discuss next week? Please give me a shout on that too. As we get, deeper into the year, we're already in March, and in January we were saying it's nearly March. Now we're saying it's nearly going to be April and May, and it's going to go really quickly, and we're going to be halfway through the year. So I think we need to be more conscious, more concerned about what we're doing, steering ourselves in the direction we need to be in, and nobody can interfere with that or choose for you. I think that's terribly important. And just learn from all the what did I tell you they're called? Obstacles are an illusion of the mind. Let's learn from them all. Recognize it and learn. Regain your energy and fly. That's what I think. No one's immune, hey? We're all in school. If we were, we would be walking on water, that I can assure you. So, thanks for all, everyone. I'll post soon. Ciao.